All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down Thibaut Maurice's seriously practical book, Master Your Emotions. If you've ever felt completely hijacked by a bad mood, or, just like a passive victim of your feelings rather than the one actually directing them, well, you're in the exact right place. We're going to distill the core mechanics of exactly how your mind creates feelings and give you an easy-to-understand summary so you can finally take back the wheel. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the emotion illusion, how emotions form, 5 practical to-do points, emotions as your guide, and wrap up with the ultimate key takeaway. Let's kick things off with part 1, the emotion illusion. I want to ask you directly, how do you feel right now, at this exact second? It sounds like such a simple question, right? But honestly, most of us really struggle to answer it accurately. We'll say things like, well, I feel like this explainer is going to be useful. But hold on, that isn't a feeling at all. That's a thought. Real feelings actually manifest as physical sensations in your body, not just ideas floating around in your head. The truth is, we've spent so much time living up in our own heads that we've kind of lost touch with the actual biological reality of our emotions. Just look at the language we use every single day. When a negative feeling hits, we instantly say, I am sad, or I'm depressed. But by doing that, you're literally identifying your entire being with a temporary state. It's crazy. You are not your emotions, just like you aren't the literal emotional clothes you happen to be wearing today. The correct framework, the real game changer here, is to shift that and say, I am experiencing sadness. As the author so profoundly points out, emotions are merely passing clouds. They show up, they alter the landscape for a minute, and then they drift right on by. You're the sun. You are the permanent witness that's still shining right there when those clouds finally clear out. Think about it. If you were your depression or your anger, you would be angry every single second of your entire existence. But you're not. So we've got to repeat this mantra. You are not your emotions. All right, moving right along to part 2, how emotions form. Quite literally, an emotion is energy in motion. It actually wants to flow through you. When you try to push it down or repress it, you're interrupting a totally natural flow of energy, causing it to just bottle up inside your body and mind. And here's the kicker. It doesn't just disappear. It goes underground and gets so much louder. So the absolutely crucial point here is this emotion formula. This is literally how a fleeting, random thought turns into a total nightmare. It starts with interpretation, how you view an event. Because reality itself isn't upsetting, it's your interpretation of it that gets you. Then comes identification. That's when you attach yourself to the thought, truly believing, I am this feeling. And finally, repetition, looping that thought over and over and over in your mind. Put them together, interpretation plus identification plus repetition equals a deeply entrenched, powerful emotional state. Okay, part 3. Here is where the rubber meets the road. 5 practical action steps. We're going to cover exactly 5 practical to-do points curated directly from the book Strategies to help you sever that toxic identification process. First up, observe your emotions with total detachment. Just locate where they feel tight in your body without spinning a whole story about them. Second, label them correctly. Remember, say, I am experiencing anger, not I am angry. Now let's really dig into the mechanics of the next 3 steps. Looking specifically at step 3 of our toolkit, we use the 5-step release process developed by Hale Dwoskin. Instead of running away from an emotion, you do the opposite. You consciously focus on it. You actually ask yourself, could I let this feeling go? Could I allow it to just be here? Or, hey, could I even welcome it? By making a totally conscious choice to accept or release that feeling, you literally rob it of its subconscious power over you. And you just repeat this until the emotional charge simply evaporates. Poof, gone. Step 4 of our practical toolkit is also super actionable. Listen, an emotion is only as strong as you allow it to be. By forcing a sudden, jarring change in your physical state, you indirectly and rapidly change your emotional state. If you are just fuming with anger, you've got to interrupt the pattern. Stand up, knock out some push-ups, do a silly dance, or just tackle a complex task that demands all your mental bandwidth. You literally cannot hold on to a deeply entrenched negative state when your physical body is completely breaking the pattern associated with it. And rounding out our 5 practical to-do points is step 5, borrowing from Mel Robbins' famous 5-second rule. Because let's be real, sometimes, despite all our best techniques, we just feel down, sluggish, or totally unmotivated. This rule is a great reminder that mature adults take decisive action regardless of what emotional clothes they're currently wearing. You don't have to feel like doing your work to actually do your work. Just leave the feeling alone, count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take action anyway. Which brings us to part 4, emotions as your guide. Think about this for a second. If you touch a hot stove, physical pain is the miraculous little signal that literally saves your hand from being destroyed, right? It tells you, hey, something is wrong. Well, emotional suffering functions the exact same way. If you are experiencing chronic stress or resentment or fear, that's just your inner alarm system going off. It's telling you that your current interpretation of reality is biased, or that a major change in your life or your environment is desperately needed. And finally, we arrive at part 5, the ultimate key takeaway. As this classic quote from James Allen so perfectly emphasizes, your internal thoughts directly dictate your external reality. Successfully controlling your thoughts and managing those emotions, it isn't just about feeling a little bit happier on a random Tuesday. No, it is the ultimate catalyst for changing your material circumstances, your relationships, and your overall success. So if there is a single key takeaway from this book, it is absolutely this. You are the permanent witness to reality. The universe is just going to keep bringing you circumstances, kind of like waves crashing on a shore. Now, the wave itself isn't sad or angry or malicious. Your suffering only stems from how you choose to interpret that wave. Once you master your interpretation, guys, you master your entire life. Since you now know that emotions are not who you actually are, but rather just temporary garments hanging in your mind's wardrobe, I have got to ask you a serious question to leave you with today. What emotional clothes are you actively choosing to wear tomorrow? Are you going to let your subconscious just dress you in resentment and fear, or will you consciously put on gratitude and purpose? The choice, as always, is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.